right, here we are. It's the end of August, August 28th. We're pulling these out of the field right now. Look at this. This is Sarah's Choice muskmelon. Orange flesh, a Brent Lloyd production. The recently departed Brent Lloyd. Sarah's Choice melon. Thank you, Brent. The plants come in quickly. They grow quickly. Look at the size of this one here. Edge effect. It's kind of big. That one's staying. We're going to hunt through here again. I'm coming down, pulling them out as they get ready. They don't all come at the same time. A little bit of an art form, knowing when they're ready. There are certain telltale signs. While I'm coming through, you can see there's different generations of fruit. We want to get smaller fruit to size up as well. The tops are still, the vines are still strong. So we have to keep the plants growing. One of our biggest problems out here is rodents, believe it or not. You can see rodents that sometimes will take fruit. That young fruit has a rodent chew damage on it. I can see from here. It has healed over, but there was some damage on that as a young fruit. What I do when I come through with my harvest time is I will bring with me a bucket of repellent. This is called a deer repellent. It's an animal repellent. It's products from the meat type industries. So you spread a little bit of that as you're going along. And that'll help keep the animals, hopefully give them a little bit of a deterrent to not find the melons smelling so good. Just as they're getting ready to be picked is when the rodents want them. That's when they want them the most. Because they can start to smell the aroma of the muskmelon. So they can keep working our way down. Here's my distributor here. So I got some melons in here that I don't think are ready, so I'm going to make sure I put some of this around them. That's going to be a smell deterrent. See this little one? Let's make it a little stinky. How do we know when a melon is ready? Well, first of all, it needs to have this netting. We have that. And we have this buff brown color coming in as well. Next thing we want to look at is the subtending leaf. That's this leaf here. The first leaf, as you come off the stem, going to the fruit, this leaf is still somewhat alive. Just a little bit. This fruit, over 90% ready. This fruit here, again, subtending leaf, much more alive. Is that it though? This one here, does he have one? There it is. Subtending leaf, alive. That fruit does definitely. I will come back and look at that one another day. That one right there looks completely done. That one over there does as well. Let's go take a look. We want to get in there with stepping on the least amount of leaves as possible. We don't always want to step in the bed, but better than that than the plants. Step out here on these guys. Okay, look at this. This, another indicator it's 100% done. Just touch this and it slides right off. If it slides right off, that is definitely done, that melon, and that has been eaten by a rodent. So you can see the risk of leaving it on until it's completely, so that the vine will slide or slip off, can mean it's gotten so ripe that the rodent already has got to it. That's why oftentimes when I come to one like this, when I'm on the actual day of harvest, I'm looking and I'm saying, this one, look, that's almost dead. I should take this. It did not take much effort. It didn't take much to remove it. That's a little bit green. That's not the complete ripened. I'm going to say that this fruit is 92% ripened. It will continue to soften and even get somewhat sweeter, but not really too much more. It will continue to get softened, so therefore ripen, you could say, off the vine. But you want to leave them on as long as possible. The longer they stay on, the better quality they are. But it's better for us to get it at 92.7% and made that stat up than this one, which stayed on for 100% of the time, and our friend got to it first, even with the stinky. So it's a little process here. I'm gonna take my time and just keep collecting them. This one here, nice buff color, all of them. They're all completely perfect melons. Why don't you bring these up? Put a couple up. Get some goop. Maybe go get a bucket or two. I should just like carrying melons. back the truck down here later. Load the bed up. See, our pile is getting better. This is looking good. 42 families. We'd like to get 42 melons this week. Then get next week, hit them 42 more. 53 total families. 42 shares per week because we do some half members. Believe me, the numbers work out. Let's grab some tomatoes. Oh yes. Okay. Brandy wine. She's a beauty. Look at her. Are you kidding me? This will ripen nicely. By the time pickup day arrives, she'll be perfectly ripe. You gotta get them off. Don't let them get fully ripe on the plant. Vine ripened is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for a broken tomato, a cracked tomato. The longer they stay on, greater chance of them being damaged by their own natural growth, especially in this variety. These varieties, these heirloom varieties are very prone to cracking, checking, very prone to having tremendous flavor. Yeah, so it's worth it growing them, but you have to be careful. Get them off. Don't leave them on the vine and think you're going to leave them on right to the very end. Don't, because they'll break. These will ripen so nicely in this band now. They continue to ripen off the plant, as you know, tomatoes. They'll continue their magic. Once they've started, there's no power in the world to stop them. Kara. That's a really good one. That's Kara's hunting. She's got a chipmunk, I believe, who's been in here eating low-hanging fruit, and she's got him trapped between some of these boards. Good girl. You can get him, though. Just don't chew the wood. So we get some lumber in here drying, and the rodents use it for cover from Kara. She makes that terrifying sound, that hyena sound, and oftentimes it works. It scares them out of cover, and they make a run for it, and she gobbles them up. Good girl, Kara, you get him. Atta girl. But the fox is here. I just saw him yesterday in the orchard. He had an apple in his mouth. He was eating an apple. Look at those cabbages. You want to talk about photosynthase? You want to talk about photosynthesis and carbohydrate production? There it is. A giant solar panel capturing sunlight, converting it to sugars, glucose, and then converting that into a large storage molecule of starch. Plant storage molecule, glucose plus glucose. You make your starch, you store it as a big head in there. And if you have a big, vigorous plant, you get a nice big head like that. Look at that. Okay, let's look at these onions. We had a deficiency early in the season. When we did the soil test, we had a phosphorus deficiency. We added some triple superphosphate, and they sized up better than they did last year. I'm coming through here, I'm looking, I'm seeing there's 2 nice rows of onions we pulled out of that one. I'm seeing some good sized up onions, some not so good. Some empty holes, mostly full holes. And then look, boom, like what's happening here? They're over. These guys are laying down, taking on the job. What are they doing? That means they're done. No crop is more clear. Oh, we might get to see her get one. Get him, Kara. He's under the plastic. No crop is more clear when it's done. It just drops a flag. Boom, it goes over, and it's done. It's reached its maximum size. Yes, this is green. Yes, is it doing photosynthesis? Perhaps. Staying local, the photosynthate, because it's not really transporting any further photosynthate to build larger carbohydrate bulb down here, because this is broken in here. See, the vascular tissue is no longer transmitting the sugars that it made in the leaf down into the storage unit, the starchy ball, which is the onion. The bulb is a piece of stem. It's not a root, it's a stem. And this is the stem, and this is the leaf. Boom. When it's over, it's done. Doesn't matter how green that is. And there's no plant that gives up easier than an onion. Look at that root system. Doesn't look very impressive, does it? It doesn't, but it works. So when they're over, you're not really doing yourself any favors not getting them out of the field because they're done growing. So you might as well just get them out of there and get them to the drying table. I got a table with paper I'm kind of partial to. Most people swear you got to put them on a screen. All right, we're gonna do some planting. This field, this is the bed we just tore out, bed just like this one, on white plastic, and we harvested our cauliflower off that bed. We had some great big cauliflowers, and we pulled them off, and there was some cabbage on it too, I think, at the end. We pulled them all out of here, but we're gonna reuse. We wanna reuse every spot whenever we can on the farm, and it's actually not too late. We're gonna stick with the theme we've been doing in the bed this season of these brassica plants, and we're gonna grow bok choy, also AKA pak choy, Chinese cabbages, a vase shaped, very pretty, soft leaves, very tasty. You've seen them in stir fries. It's related to the cabbages. What we did, we pulled it right out. We got the plastic out. We've pulled weeds out along the edges as best we can, and now we fertilize. A lot of nutrients were taken out of the bed, of course, by those big, enormous cabbages and those cauliflowers. So, quick soil test, which we did our own to get a rough idea of what's out there. But you gotta kind of know already what you're gonna have to put in for how many feet a row. It's simple math. And at this time of year, we're going with a gentle fertilizer, the Pro Grow 534. We use this in the spring also. And it's a low in nitrogen, but it's highly effective. It's very good for the microorganisms in the soil, the Pro Grow. And if we have a nitrogen shortage, we can make up for it with the drip irrigation, where you can put some liquid fertilizer through the drip tube, which we will install. So this is a really great fertilizer. I use it all the time in all my beds. So we've got that in. We put it right in with the drop spreader. It's in here, and it's going to rain later on tonight. Maybe, they say. It's pouring out right now, just to the west of us with the hurricane remnant, but we're missing it in the airfield again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to till this in, and then hopefully it'll rain. It'll melt a little bit underneath the surface, and I'll till it again. And then we're going to put a plastic bed in here, black plastic bed, to grow the pak choy on, because we want to keep it warmer through the cooler season at the end when they're finishing up. They should germinate quite well, and then the temperature drops, and it's a cool loving plant, so it'll continue to grow. It'll pick up speed growing through September, and it's at 50 days maturity from planting. We'll get it in by the end of September. Look at that. Here's the remaining cabbages. Quick look at this. This is amazing. Here are the ones we've pulled these out. Look at the size of these big solar panels. They suck the heat energy in, they carbon dioxide, they make carbohydrate, and there it is. Boom. Beautiful. So we'll harvest these out this week too. All right, Kira, I'm gonna fire this up. Kira's in here. She had a really good kill today. She pulled a vole out of one of these beds, out of the onion bed. And so good for her. Good girl, Kira. We let her in the bed sparingly because we don't want her to do more damage than she would cause, but she's really learned how to leave the plastic and try to work around plants. And we'll pull voles out of these beds all the time. She got one today. Let's fire this old girl up. It's a 1984 Kubota L245 DT, dual traction. A little preheater. That's the row you got the rat in. Kira, where's the rat? Can you get him? Why don't you go get him? Stay back. Stay back, Kira. You better look out. Look out. This is all rock under here. There's really, you can't plant on this, I've learned. It's just right about here. Boom. There's a ledge, a hunk of ledge right here out of this whole field.